prepare and walk towards that. Again, this gives me a good opportunity to talk about my farm, right? It's the latest thing I have, probably the latest and the biggest thing I have working on, apart from my everyday job. I have a farm manager. It's good. And I keep on emphasizing to him, it's not just about being good. It's not about being hardworking. It's about understanding the business. Because if you don't understand the business, you're hardworking in the wrong way, right? Life is not about just hardworking. It's about being hardworking and being smart. Being smart is understanding the context in which you're operating so that you can direct your hardworking in a way that will be profitable. Right? Everybody's hardworking. You have a laborer, the bus conductor, but they're poor. They're not going to get rich because their hardworking is not focused on the right things. Right? Life is not just about being hardworking. It's about being hardworking, focused on the right things. Because if you're not, you ain't going to get any better. I mean, you're hardworking doing the things that don't matter. For us as Christians, I'm a Christian, and this is not a religious event, so I imagine people from different religion get to listen to it, either live or not live, but looking from the Holy Book, we had the story of Mary and Martha, right? And they chose what to focus on. Right, Matthew was hardworking. He was jumping all around. Oh, this just it was exerting energy, whereas Mary was not exerting that much of an external physical energy. She was probably exerting what you might call spiritual energy. Sat at the feet of Jesus, right? Just from a physical point of view, you would think Mary is lazy. She's not doing anything. Question is, you need to understand the context of the picture. Just look at the picture alone, you might wrongly assess what is going on, right? You look at the context of the picture. What is Mary doing? What is Mary getting? How does what Mary is doing affect the customers, the stakeholders, the ecosystem? How does what Martha is doing affect the customers, the stakeholders, the ecosystem? Jesus gave an analysis. He says, hey, there's only one thing, right, that is needed. Even though Martha was jumping all around, she was jumping all around on things that were not that core to what they needed at that point in time. To the ordinary eye, it looked like she was busy and productive. But Jesus Christ said, hey, you're missing it, Martha. You're missing it, Martha. It's not about being hardworking. It's about doing the right things. And Mary has chosen that. I'm not going to take it away from her. Right? Same way. When we're big picture thinking, we understand the context in which we're operating. We know how to separate old thinking from new thinking. A lot of us are held onto old ways of thinking, and we're thinking that should work in a new system that we're operating in, and it's not working for us. We're failures, and we're crying, I'm working hard, I can't sleep, all of that, but yet I'm not making money, I'm not getting any better. It's because your thinking is not working in a new context. Your thinking used to work in the old context, and it worked. Now you have a new context. You are right, and you need to respect that context, right? And know what kind of thinking would work here. The whole thinking is not working, doesn't work, it's not expected to work. So you need to take 2 steps backwards and look at the whole picture. What is a new context that I'm in, and what does it require? What level of thinking, what way of thinking does it require? What way of engagement does it require? Right? How can I be profitable in this new context that I'm in? Right? And that helps, And another example from the Holy Book, is Jesus was given an example that you don't put new wine and put it in a old wineskin. Right? It's going to break the wineskin because it's yet fermenting. It's yet fermenting. So there's like a chemical reaction taking place on the inside of it. So it's going to break this wineskin because it's going to put in pressure on it. So you don't do that. You don't put new wine into old wineskin, right? You need to understand the context, right? When you have new wine, you put it in new wineskin so that they can expand together. They can flex, they can stretch out together, right? And one is not breaking the other. Yes, you can put old wine in old wineskin when it's no more fermenting, no more chemical reaction taking place in it, right? You can put old wine in new wineskin, right? There's no chemical reaction taking place, in the old wine. So the new wineskin can take it, right? It's all about understanding the context, right, that you're operating in and what works and what doesn't work. Not everything goes, right? There's a way of doing things. There's order. There are boundaries, right? And it helps when you take 2 steps backwards, you're able to understand this. A lot of people don't do this. They struggle. They are struggling because they are hitting their head on the wall, expecting it to become a door. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter whether you fast all your life. It doesn't matter if you never sleep. There are ways of doing things. You need to take 2 steps backward and learn that way of doing things so that you can progress, right? And so Graham goes on and says that the system that is at work, you understand the system that is at work. So 3 things Graham said in that definition is: 1, it is seeing the whole picture, right? Understanding the context, right? And the system that is at work. How do things work in this place, right? Also, let me divert again, going to Christianity. A lot of people come into the church with their old ways of doing things, right? You have people that used to be babalawos, whatever they used to be. They come in, and instead of understanding the way this new place they have come in is supposed to work, instead of understanding the new context and the system, they bring their own way of doing things in here and expect it to work. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's why the Holy Book will say that don't stay with the old way of thinking. Clean it up. Clean it up. Learn the new way of thinking. Learn about this new system that you've come into. That's the way to get the best out of it. Right? That's the way to get the best out of it. Stop eating your head on the wall, expecting it to become a door. Know where the wall is, know where the door is, and use each thing for what it's meant for, right? So big picture would say it's looking at the complete system and the overarching story or idea concerning a thing, right? You need to look at what's the overarching story, and that when we talk about organization might have to do with why is this organization in existence, right? I've been listening to a lot of Jim C. Collins, and what's his partner's name is Jerry Porras something. Those 2 books are Good to Great, Built to Last. I have the audio, so each time I drive I get to listen to the audio book. Yesterday was one of those times. I had a long time on the road yesterday, so I got to listen to a whole lot again. So it's and I said, listen, I kind of parallel it to our farm, right? How to build it such that it will be right, well built as a good company, and then we'll build it to last, fortified, that it becomes an institution, right? And one of the things I was just thinking about is, that reoccurring thought, what we're about, right? What we're about as a company, as a firm, it's not just a farm, because we do have plans for real estate development also, So as a company, what we're about is to change lives. That is our mission. That's what we're about. That's what describes us as a company, to change lives. If there was just short form of our company, to change lives. Even though we're farming, even though we're going to go into real estate, what we're about to change lives. To change lives first of our employees. Because if we don't change the lives of our employees, right, we cannot change the life of anybody. So to change the lives of our employees, we're going to change the life of every single one that comes to work for us for good. We change the lives of our employees, right? We change the lives of our stakeholders, right? With our employees, we change the life of our stakeholders. Our stakeholders are our communities, the village where we are in, you know, and the general ecosystem also. You know, we're working with different organizations, all in a bid to change lives, right? Whether I be working with my alma mater schools, whether I be working with WIEC, or whether I be working with UNDP, UNCF, we're all about changing lives. So first of all, changing lives of our employees, our stakeholders, right? You know, so those are the things we're about. That we want to leave an impact here, but we know that the way to do that, we have first of all generate the money to do it, right? So everything we do is to generate enough money to be able to achieve that purpose, change lives, right? All right, so that's just for me. You know, everybody has their own what they do, right? So